Hey guys, what's up? It's the Pinhead and I'm back with another video. Today I wanted to go through one of my favorite series, my favorite horror series I should say, and that is the Friday the 13th series. I pretty much got all the movies here except for the remake, and I'll talk about that in another video, the remake. I won't add that to this list. This is basically just the original ones, so a lot of these came out of that original box set. You got Friday the 13th with Betsy Palmer, and you got Friday the 13th Part 2. Both of these films I really like. You know, you got Jason's mom as the killer, and then Jason where he's growing up and he has the bag over his head. Both classic great films. You know, you can't go wrong with the first two. I almost love every one of them. So Friday the 13th Part 3 and Friday the 13th the final chapter, which is the fourth one. Now Part 3 is the 3D one, of course, and it's where Jason first gets his hockey mask, and it's you know, it's a really great film. And the fourth one, supposed to be the final chapter, that was great as well. And Jason sort of looks similar, you know, in both those movies. You know, he's not really decaying and stuff yet, so he looks pretty similar, and I like that. So these are great films to have together in a pack anyway. Corey Feldman, great films. Here you have Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, and Friday the 13th Part 6, Jason Lives. Now Friday the 13th Part 5, of course, is not really Jason. It is someone who is mimicking Jason, but I still love the movie. I think the movie is pretty damn funny. There's a lot of comedy in it, and just some great memorable scenes. Jason Lives, you know, they kind of take the Tommy Jarvis character, you know, they go deeper into him. You know, he's getting older, and Jason is resurrected from Part 4, but he's actually decaying and stuff, and it's cool to see him as like kind of like a corpse. That's when he first starts to be like a corpse, so that's a pretty neat film as well. Then we got a couple of my favorites here. Friday the 13th Part 7, The New Blood. Then Friday the 13th Part 8, Jason Takes Manhattan. Now The New Blood is the first appearance of Kane Hodder, you know, doing Jason, and he is unbelievable. His movements, one of Kane Hodder's best scenes, he said, is when he first comes out of the water and the camera is at his back and he's coming out of the water. That's his favorite scene, he says, all the time. And Jason is really decaying in that film. As you can see, part of his mask is missing. He just looks more like a monster. Takes Manhattan is great too, and that's where it's all different. Like it's in New York and it's on a boat mostly, and then he gets to New York City, and it's a different pace than always Camp Crystal Lake. You know, it's different, and I like that. I think they did a good job, and Kane Hodder also does that too. I think it's really a, you know, a couple great films there. I always call Part 7 the, you know, Carrie versus Jason, because the girl who has telekinetic powers. Carrie versus Jason. Then we get to Jason Goes to Hell. Now, New Line picked the franchise up. You know, Paramount doesn't have it anymore, so they started, instead of calling it, you know, no more Friday the 13th, it's just Jason whatever. Jason Goes to Hell, and this is the unrated and rated R versions, and you can definitely tell with some scenes. But this is a very gory movie, especially the beginning where the doctor eats the heart. That scene is gross. I'm sorry. That is just gross. A lot of people don't really care for this film because they say that Jason isn't in it. You know, he's in the beginning and he's in the end. I really have no problem with it. I think it's kind of underrated in a way for me, because I don't watch this very much, but when I do, I don't mind it. I think it's kind of neat. It's kind of different. You know, they went a different route, have Jason jump from body to body, whether it's, you know, through the mouth or through the vagina. It doesn't matter. It was kind of cool, I think, in the end with Freddy's glove coming up. That's pretty cool too. But it is a very, very bloody movie. I saw this in the theater too. Then we get to Jason X. This is a ridiculous movie. Jason in space, pretty much. He had Leprechaun in space, Pinhead in space. Now you got Jason in space. New Line Platinum Series, Jason X or Jason 10, whatever. And Kane Hodder reprises his role. Here's the thing about this movie. It's entertaining to watch. I had fun watching this movie. It is ridiculous. The kills are pretty cool. But Cyborg Jason or Terminator, the whole space thing, flying through space, spaceships, and just it got to be too overwhelming. Like it just got to be too much. I couldn't get into this thing. And I think it knew what it wanted to be. It was just basically like a horror comedy almost. You know, you're not supposed to take this shit seriously. So, you know, whatever. I took it for what it is, and it was entertaining to watch. So, whatever. Jason X. And then we get to Freddy vs. Jason. And this was a fantastic film. I saw this in the theater. I just wish that Kane Hodder would have played Jason. That would have completed my, you know, the whole circle for me. I mean, we got Robert Englund to play Freddy, thank God. But I just wish Kane Hodder would have played Jason. I love the fight scenes, the music, the story. I thought they did the story really, really good. They were supposed to, I heard that they were going to have the ending where these two meet Pinhead, but they couldn't get the rights to Pinhead from what I heard. It would have been cool to see Doug Bradley standing there with these two. That would have been awesome. But it's a really, really great movie, a really great versus movie. My favorite versus movie to this day was King Kong versus Godzilla. And, you know, I didn't really care for Alien versus Predator, but this is a great versus movie here. Really great. Freddy versus Jason. So, I didn't talk about the remake, but like I said, I'll talk about that in another video. But these are just the originals. But anyway, these movies, they're just some of my favorites in all of horror. In my collection. You know, I've been a fan of these movies ever since I was a kid. I think the first one I ever saw was Friday the 13th Part 3, and I saw that a ton of times. And you know, I just started collecting them on VHS and then soon DVD. It just began to grow. I know. I just love these movies. They're just so campy and so, you know, the kills and everything. It just makes them different from any other horror series. So, and Jason's, you know, one of my favorite horror villains. So, as well as Pinhead, but you know that. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. Comment down below. Tell me some of your favorite Friday the 13th films or Jason films. And stay tuned till next time, because I'm going to have more of these videos where I'm going to talk about some horror franchises. Maybe throw in some top 10s and stuff, and also do some movie reviews of horror movies. And, you know, horror is my favorite genre, but I'm going to do more than that. I'm going to talk about more movies, because I'm a movie buff, no matter what. If it's horror, action, drama, sci-fi, whatever. I'm into all genres, but horror is my favorite. So, anyway, guys, stay tuned to next time. This is the Pinhead signing off. See ya.